Rabbi Yehudah Yehoshua Glick is an American-born Israeli Orthodox rabbi, activist, former chief executive director of Temple Institute from 2005 to 2009, and politician. As the president of Shalom Jerusalem Foundation, he campaigns for expanding Jewish access to the Temple Mount. He was a member of the Knesset for Likud, having taken the place of former Defense Minister Moshe Ya'alon in May 2016 until April 2019. Rabbi Glick is the leader of Haliba, a coalition of groups dedicated to reaching complete and comprehensive freedom and civil rights for Jews on the Temple Mount. Glick was awarded the 2015 Moskowitz Prize for Zionism for being active for human rights and religious freedom on Jerusalem's Temple Mount. He also has been referred as a right-wing Israeli activist. On the 29th of October 2014, Glick survived an assassination attempt by Mutes Hijazi, a member of Islamic Jihad movement in Palestine. Yehudah Glick was born on the 20th of November 1965 in the United States to American Jewish parents, Brenda and Shimon Glick. His father, a physician and professor specializing in endocrinology research and medical ethics, made Aliyah with his family from the United States in 1974 and helped found Ben Gurion University's School of Medicine. Glick served in the IDF between 1986 and 1989 as part of Yeshivat HaEtzion, the Hesder yeshiva that he attended. Rabbi Glick initially served in the Armored Corps and later in the Intelligence Corps. He completed a combat medics course and served as a combat medic and regional defense soldier. Glick holds a Bachelor of Education in Bible Studies from Jerusalem College of Technology and an MA in Jewish History from Touro College. He is also a licensed tour guide for the Ministry of Tourism. In 1996, Glick began working in the Ministry of Immigrant Absorption, filling several positions, including spokesperson for Minister Yuli Edelstein, Director of the Public Diplomacy Department in the Ministry, Director of the Jewish Identity Unit, and Director of the Ashkelon and South Israel region. After leaving his position in the Ministry of Immigration and Absorption, Glick took a greater leading role in the Temple movement, becoming the Executive Director of the Temple Institute in 2005, which is a state-funded organization that supports the building of the Third Temple on the Temple Mount. After leaving the Temple Institute in 2009, Glick founded a series of organizations that promote and popularize the Temple movement through liberal discourse, including the Temple Mount Heritage Foundation in 2009, and the Liba Initiative for Jewish Freedom on the Temple Mount, Human Rights on Temple Mount, and currently chairs the Shalom Jerusalem Foundation since 2019. Let us now welcome Rabbi Yehudah Yehoshua Glick.
Shalom to my dear friends from Papua New Guinea. This is Rabbi Yehudah Glick speaking to you from Jerusalem, and it is my honor and blessing to speak to you in honor of Purim. As you all know, on Purim, King Ahasuerus of Persia, who was actually the king of the Persian Empire throughout the entire 127 countries that were under the Persian Empire, had celebrated and invited all the nations to celebrate his kingdom. We in the Shalom Jerusalem Foundation have announced the global Zionist movement, where the world is called to recognize the Zionist movement not only as a national Jewish movement, and not only a call to come to Israel, but the global Zionist movement is actually a movement that calls all nations to recognize Zion. Zion is the house, the Temple Mount, the mount of the house of the Lord. So for this Purim, I'm sending a special message to the people of Papua New Guinea, I would like to make special acknowledgements and thanks to Parliamentary Member for Maprik, Honorable Gabriel Caprice. A special acknowledgement to him for hosting the Purim in his village. I want to make a special acknowledgement to the director of the Bet Lechem Mission Foundation and the general overseers of One New Man Fellowship, Sim Topaz and Dvora Topaz, for hosting the program. To Pastor Daki Pirian, master of the Purim event. I would like to make a special acknowledgement to a few pastors, Pastor Yisai and Yeona and Wingate Messianic community, Pastor Ezekiel and Kalkara and Wasara community, Pastor Kalev and Penina and Balif, One New Man congregation. To Pastor Ephraim and Yewam from the One New Man congregation, to Pastor Madeline Loco and Wewak Teshuva congregation, to Grace Sungi and Melissa Dixon and the Levites ministry, to Pastor Elsie and Teshuva congregation, Brugham, to Richard and Nancy and Supari community. Special acknowledgement also to Wilson Yaning and Pastor Joseph from Balanga village, to cause a big turnaround in acknowledging Israel as the prophetic nation in Hashem's time clock. I first met the Papua New Guinea community in 2007 and again in 2009 when I was director of the Temple Institute. When they came and brought gold, which we used to prepare the crown of the high priest. And it was not only did they bring gold that they bought, but it seemed like it was bars of gold from the origin of the mines in Papua New Guinea. We in the Shalom Jerusalem Foundation have established the global Zionist movement, which, as I said, calls upon the nations to recognize Hashem and the place He chose, Zion. In Hebrew, Zion is to point. The place He chose, He put His finger and said, I desire this place, in Psalm 132. And this global Zionist movement is calling that the Temple Mount, the Zion, should be a house of prayer for all nations. And we want to call upon all peoples to put Zion on your heart, to have a pin of Zion on your heart, to have Zion hanging in your rooms, in your houses, in your synagogues, in your churches, in your community centers. You can contact the Shalom Jerusalem Foundation and get your own Zion sign to hang it in your house. Because we are here to raise the banner of Hashem in the world. Hashem who brought the Jewish people back home. Hashem who fulfilled the visions and the prophecies of the prophets. The holiday Purim is called over the Pur, the lot, that Haman casted. But Haman casted lots, understanding that the lot decide the fate of a person, and we don't have choice. And once there's a lot, once the date is decided, that is the fate of that nation. But the people of Israel have chosen not the fate, but rather the destiny. And the destiny is something that Hashem has decided for us. But we can choose to be part of it or to be thrown away from history. As Mordechai had said to Esther, who knows, maybe this moment is your moment. It's your choice. Because if you don't get involved, Hashem will save us in other ways. Because the destiny is decided by Hashem. But we can make the decision of, are we part of it or are we not part of it? The people of Papua New Guinea, led by my dear friend Sim Topaz, have decided to be part of it. And I want them to be part of the global Zionist movement, led by the Shalom Jerusalem Foundation. I would like to say that the Gentiles have a special mission in this mission. Because Hashem chooses the people of Israel, not for the sake of the people of Israel, but rather to serve as a source of blessing to all the nations. And the importance of every single person to make the decision by himself. Do I want to be part of this great historic phenomena, or do I not want to be part of it? Do I want to take part in raising the banner of Hashem, in the rebuilding of the house of prayer for all nations? And this is the concept of Purim. Haman wanted to destroy the people of Israel. He was going to build a tree for hanging Mordechai. So the tree he built. But Hashem decided that it would be served to hang him on it. And he was deciding that a time will be to destroying the people of Israel. And he caused that the people of Israel would be those who fight for their safety and security. Today we're living in the independent state of Israel, with Jerusalem reunited as our capital. Now is the time for the nations to join and establish the global Zionist movement and to announce the campaign of putting Zion on our heart, in our houses. So I'm calling you all to join the campaign of Zionism with Zion. Zionism that puts Zion in the center, and not only a Jewish movement, but a global Zionist movement. Shalom. Blessings to you all from Jerusalem. I would like to conclude by reciting the Aaronic blessing. I will recite it in the Hebrew, and then I will recite it in English.
Rabbi will now recite blessing over you, so please can you kindly stand up, Rabbi? We'll release the Aaronic blessing from Jerusalem to you.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And now in English, it says that Hashem shall bless you. May Hashem bless you and watch you over you. May Hashem cause His countenance to shine upon you and favor you. May Hashem raise His countenance towards you and grant you shalom. They shall bestow my name upon the children of Israel, so that I will bless them. And this is what Hashem tells the Kohanim for the sake of the people of Israel, and the nation of Israel for the sake of all the nations. Blessed you shall be from Zion, and you shall see children to your children, and shalom upon Israel for the sake of all nations.